Thank you. Hi, everybody. How you doing? I don't know about you, but so far the biggest news of the day is that Pierre's Ice Cream is going to have a USS Cleveland flavored. I hope it's not flavored like the USS Cleveland, because then it would just be like oil and sweat and sea salt, and we don't want that in our ice cream. But yeah, I'm very excited about that. And you left out Dorothy Fulltime and and the Pooch Parade. It's okay. And Lawson's. Don't forget Lawson's. I know there's Lawson's all over the place, but when you're in LA, there's no more Lawson's and there's no Big O. But when I meet people from Cleveland, we sing the Big O theme. Get to juice up the Lawson's in 40 hours. It's really humbling to be here and be a part of this. And honestly, when they told me I was on a list with like John F. Kennedy and Bill Withers, I was like, what? Like, me? Because I play down my time in the Marine Corps all the time. And only because I was just in the reserves, and I never fought in combat. I was never in danger. I used to tell people people would ask me, like, aren't you worried about, being in the reserves and getting called up? And I would joke, and this is in the 80s, and I would say, don't worry, things have to get pretty bad for them to call up my reserve unit. And what do you know? Things got pretty bad, and they called up my reserve unit. You just forget, like, you never know when it's going to be your time or when it's going to be your turn to do something, and everybody has a job to do. I've been thinking all morning, watching everybody, and there's like a list of like equally, if not more, famous people and beings up here and companies that are all a part of this. And I'm glad to lend my name to something this important and something this nice. But all I've been thinking about all morning is all the big metaphors that are here. Like, it is a lone sailor award, but nobody's ever alone, are they? First thing you learn at boot camp is how dependent you are on everybody else. And I'm sure in every boot camp they do that. They would punish us for the mistake that somebody else made that we had nothing to do with. And just to show you that if you don't do your job right in the military, there's jobs where if you don't do your job right, people die and people get seriously injured. In showbiz, if you don't do your job right, they go, okay, we're going to take that one again, adjust the lights. Like, nothing really bad happens. It costs money. But in the military, there's lots of jobs that have a high cost if you don't do the job right. And somebody you don't know is going to get hurt or injured or something. Like, there's no such thing as a small job in the military or anywhere, really. I was talking to a monk one time that I had the honor of meeting, and we were discussing how it's like the Bob Dylan song that you have to serve somebody. There's no such thing as somebody alive that's not serving humanity in some kind of way. You might not think so. Like, you could think of the biggest, jerk that's speeding in a Lamborghini and doesn't care about anybody. They're teaching us how not to be. They're they're serving us by teaching us what not to do. And they also, by the way, the repair guys at the Lamborghini place probably get a lot of work out of this guy. And whoever manufactures gasoline has a customer. I mean, everybody serves somebody. If you're a hermit that lives in the woods, you're not using resources so the rest of us can use resources. It's a nice game if you ever want to think deep thoughts one time. Try to think of somebody that's not serving somebody else. It's impossible. And it really kind of brings it home with how interconnected everybody is. Look at all the people in this room that are helping making this possible. Look at all the people that volunteered their time and said, yes, you can use my company name, and yes, you can use my name to do this, and yes, I'll serve on your board, and you can use my reputation. You can use the goodwill I've built up in my life to make this happen so people that serve in the military and the sea services can get recognition in even a small way. Everywhere they go, which is all, honestly, people ask for. They don't need a big parade. They just want to know that they're important and they're recognized, and you are. And thank you for everything you do, and thank you for volunteering, and thank you for serving. Even the brass, thank you guys too. A lot of brass in the room today. Couldn't help notice that. I'm glad you guys are all retired so I could chill. Nothing worse than having a stripe on your arm and having a bird walk in, or a star of some kind where you're just like, oh no. So I have to tell you about, really quickly, I don't want to be up here all morning, about what the military means to me. I didn't join because of 9/11 or anything like that. This is way before that. I didn't really even join. I'm being perfectly honest with everybody here. I know everybody has a different reason for joining the service. You want an education or something else. I think I was patriotic, but I needed a job, really. And I was at probably one of the lowest points in my whole entire life when I joined the Marine Corps. I had been living in Las Vegas and in a motel that cost me $55 a week that they overcharged me for. I was ripped off every week by this motel. It was called the Vegas Motel. It's not there anymore, but if you're ever in Vegas, it's by Fremont and Charleston. That's the neighborhood I lived in Vegas, Fremont and Charleston. Visit it anytime you'd like during the day. If you're in a car. And I had totaled my car, and I lost my job, and I couldn't afford the $55. I spent the night on a friend's couch. I came back the next day. Everything I'd stored in my car, the windows had been smashed open. They stole everything I had in there. High school yearbooks, love letters from my first girlfriend, all these picture albums, all these memories of things I'd want to save and enjoy in my life I don't have anymore. All gone in a day. All I literally had was the clothes on my back, and I had a little backpack thing with maybe deodorant and toothpaste in it so I could spend the night at my friend's house. And that's all I had to my name. And a wrecked car. I remember in boot camp, they sent me a letter about the car. And they said, if you don't come claim your car, we're going to sell it. And I was like, go ahead. I think I threw the letter away. Do me a favor. So I called my brother who lived in California, collect, and he offered me a place to stay. And my friend that I stayed on the couch with was going to drive to LA, and they dropped me off, and my brother met me and took me down to Dana Point, and my brother let me sleep in a spare room. Him and his wife cooked for me. They gave me food. He had to buy me underwear and socks and shirts and completely outfit me, gave me a job. And he worked for an auto dealership. He was the auto parts manager. And he got me a job driving a van delivering auto parts in Southern California. And then the owner found out that I was working there, and he made my brother fire me because he didn't want a relative to work for a relative delivering parts because it'd be too easy to steal from him. So that was against policy. So then I didn't have any job. And I was like, well, I guess it's time for me to join the military because that's all that I could think of. I dropped out of college. I didn't have any job skills really. And I thought, I'll just join the military. And I showed up at the recruiting office, and the people from the Marine Corps were more together than the other people that were there. So I joined the Marine Corps, and that was it. I walked into the Army place once. One of the guys was sleeping at his desk. The people at the Navy were nice, but I thought, if I'm going to join, let me join the Marine Corps. Let me just do that and say I did that. And when I was in boot camp, I loved it. And when I was in the Marine Corps, I loved it because I went from not being able to afford to eat or clothe myself to getting 3 meals a day. I had an instant family. I had something to be proud of every day. I was part of an organization with a history. I was accepted into this brotherhood of people that have done important things and stood for something. And me, little Drew Carey from Cleveland, Ohio, that couldn't afford anything and was broke and had to mooch off my brother, was part of this thing and didn't have to depend on anybody anymore except the people around me. And I was wanted and needed. And I never forgot that, what the Marine Corps taught me. They taught me to have pride in myself. They taught me to have, to be responsible, to take care of people. All the good things you learn in the military that are great. They taught me that in that 12 weeks and then onward. all the friends I made, all the things I did. Even though I was in the reserves, I thought, well, this is an important thing I'm doing, and this is a needed thing. I'm a cog in a machine, but I always thought I was an important cog in a machine my whole life. You know, in marching band and being a dishwasher. I was joking around with somebody about when I was a dishwasher and how cocky I was when I was a dishwasher in Cleveland. Because I was like, yeah, if you don't like the way I wash dishes, maybe I'll just wash my dishes a little slow today. You'll see how important I am in this restaurant. But I was really, really proud to be in the Marine Corps. And even though I did just keep the commies out of Ohio in the reserves, I'm part of an organization, and I'm part of a thing. And I'm glad that I could be part of this to recognize everybody that's in the sea services. And, 17 statues now, right? 18 statues next year, 20 the next year, who knows? Yeah. Let me tell you, when you're in the service, any small thing means a lot. So thank you for this. Thank you, everybody that's a sponsor. Thank you for lending your time and your reputation and your money and everything else to be part of this and to honor people that serve. It's very humbling for me to be here, and thank you very much.